My brother called me a failure. In front of our entire family, he mocked my career, my choices, my life. Everyone laughed. Everyone agreed. Then one text from my dad appeared on the screen. And my brother's face went pale. Because what that text revealed destroyed everything he thought he knew. My name is Daniel. I'm 31 years old. I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, with my older brother, Kyle. He was always the golden child, the star athlete, the straight-A student, the one everyone praised. I was the quiet one, the creative one, the one who didn't fit the mold. Kyle went to Duke University on a full scholarship. He studied business. He graduated with honors. He got a job at a prestigious consulting firm in Charlotte. Six-figure salary right out of college. Everyone celebrated him. Dad was so proud. Mom couldn't stop bragging to her friends. I went to community college. I studied graphic design. I worked part-time at a coffee shop to pay tuition. After I graduated, I freelanced. I built websites. I designed logos. I worked from home. I didn't make much money at first, but I loved what I did. I was happy. My family didn't understand. They thought I was wasting my potential. Mom would ask when I was getting a real job. Dad would suggest I apply to corporate positions. Kyle would make comments about me still living like a college student. But I kept working. I kept building my skills. I took online courses. I networked. I slowly grew my client base. I was making progress. Just not the kind of progress my family recognized. Kyle, meanwhile, was thriving. Or so it seemed. He bought a luxury apartment. He drove a BMW. He wore expensive suits. He posted photos from business trips to New York, Los Angeles, Miami. He looked successful. He acted successful. Everyone believed he was successful. But appearances can be deceiving. Last month, Dad organized a family dinner. It was his 60th birthday. He wanted everyone together. Me, Kyle, Mom, our aunts and uncles, our cousins. 20 people total. We met at a nice restaurant in downtown Raleigh. I arrived early. I wore my best shirt and jeans. I brought a gift for Dad. A framed photo collage I'd designed myself. Photos from throughout his life. Arranged artistically. I'd spent hours on it. Kyle arrived late. He walked in wearing a three-piece suit. Designer watch. Hair perfectly styled. He looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine. Everyone turned to look at him. Everyone complimented him. Kyle, you look amazing. That suit must have cost a fortune. You're doing so well. I sat at the end of the table. No one had complimented me. No one had asked how I was doing. I was invisible. Again. Dinner progressed. Conversations flowed. Dad opened gifts. He loved the photo collage. He hugged me. That felt good. But then Kyle stood up. He wanted to make a toast. Dad, happy 60th birthday. You've been an incredible father. You taught us the value of hard work, the importance of success, the pride that comes from building something meaningful. Everyone nodded. Kyle looked at me. Some of us took those lessons to heart. Some of us built careers, made something of ourselves, contributed to society. He paused. The room went quiet. And some of us are still figuring it out. He smiled. It wasn't kind. It was condescending. Cruel. Daniel's still doing his freelance thing. Living in his little apartment. Making his little designs. No benefits. No stability. No real future. But hey, at least he's happy, right? People laughed. Not everyone. But enough. I felt my face burn. I looked down at my plate. Kyle continued. Dad, you deserve sons who make you proud. I hope I'm doing that. He raised his glass. Everyone clinked. Everyone cheered. I sat there, humiliated. I wanted to leave. I wanted to walk out and never see any of them again. But I stayed. For Dad. He didn't deserve to have his birthday ruined. After dinner, people mingled. Kyle was surrounded by relatives. Everyone wanted to hear about his latest business deal, his new promotion, his upcoming trip to London. He ate up the attention. I stood alone near the bar. Dad approached me. "Daniel, don't listen to him. He's just showing off." "It's fine, Dad." "It's not fine. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. You don't have to say that. I'm not just saying it. I mean it." He squeezed my shoulder. Then someone called him over for a photo. He walked away. I pulled out my phone. I needed air. I needed to get out of there. Then my phone buzzed. A text. From Dad. Except Dad was across the room. He wasn't texting me. I looked at the message. It was in a group chat. Family updates. Everyone was in it. Me, Kyle, Mom, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins. All 20 people from tonight. The text said, "I need to share something with everyone. Something I should have said a long time ago. Kyle, Daniel, I love you both. But I need to be honest about something important." I looked up. Dad was still talking to someone. He hadn't sent this. But it was from his number. Another text appeared. "Kyle has been lying to everyone for 2 years. He doesn't work at the consulting firm anymore. He was fired. He's been living off credit cards and loans, pretending to be successful while drowning in debt." The room went silent. Everyone was looking at their phones. Kyle's face turned white. Another text. "Daniel has been quietly building a successful business. He just signed a contract with a Fortune 500 company. He's making more than Kyle ever did." I stared at my phone. My heart was pounding. Everyone was staring at Kyle now. He was frozen. His phone was in his hand. He looked at Dad. "Dad, what is this?" Dad looked confused. "What's what?" "The texts. Why are you sending this?" "I'm not sending anything." Kyle held up his phone. Dad pulled out his own phone. His face went pale. "I didn't write this. I didn't send this." But the messages kept coming. "Kyle owes over $200,000. Credit cards. Personal loans. He's 3 months behind on his rent. His car is about to be repossessed. He's been lying to everyone. Pretending. Faking success." Kyle's hands were shaking. "This is a hack. Someone hacked Dad's phone." Another text. "This isn't a hack, Kyle. This is the truth. And everyone deserves to know it." Uncle Mike stood up. "Kyle, is this true?" Kyle didn't answer. "Kyle, are you really in debt?" "I can explain." $200,000? How is that even possible?" Kyle's girlfriend, who'd been sitting next to him, stood up. "Kyle, you told me you got promoted. You said you were making $300,000 a year." "I was going to." "You lied to me?" She grabbed her purse and walked out. Kyle looked around the room. Everyone was staring, judging, waiting for an answer. "This is bullshit. Someone is sabotaging me." Another text appeared. "No one is sabotaging you, Kyle. You sabotaged yourself. You chose to lie. You chose to fake a life you couldn't afford. You chose to humiliate your brother to make yourself feel superior." Kyle looked at me. "Did you do this?" "I didn't send those texts." "You're behind this. You hacked Dad's phone." "Kyle, I didn't." "You're jealous. You've always been jealous of me." Dad stepped between us. "Kyle, stop. Everyone, calm down. We need to figure out what's happening." But the damage was done. Kyle's perfect image had shattered. And everyone had witnessed it. The dinner ended in chaos. People left quickly. Uncomfortable. Confused. Kyle stormed out without saying goodbye. Mom was crying. Dad was trying to figure out who'd hacked his phone. I drove home in silence. My mind was racing. Someone had exposed Kyle. Someone knew the truth about him. And about me. But who? I pulled into my apartment parking lot. My phone rang. It was Dad. "Daniel, can you come over? I need to talk to you. Now, please." I drove to my parents' house. Dad was sitting in his office. His phone was on the desk. He looked exhausted. "Sit down, son." I sat. "I need to tell you something. Those texts tonight. I know who sent them." "Who?" He took a deep breath. Me? I stared at him. What? I sent them. I scheduled them to go out during dinner. I wanted everyone to see. Dad, why would you? Because I'm tired of watching Kyle destroy himself. I'm tired of watching him lie. And I'm tired of watching this family treat you like you're worth less than him. I don't understand. Dad opened a drawer. He pulled out a folder. He slid it across the desk. 3 months ago, Kyle came to me. He asked for money. A lot of money. He said he was in trouble. He'd been fired from his job 2 years ago. He'd been too ashamed to tell anyone. So he pretended nothing had changed. He kept dressing the part, posting on social media, living the lifestyle. But he was funding it all with credit cards. I opened the folder. Bank statements, credit card bills, loan documents. Kyle owed $230,000. He begged me to bail him out. He said he'd pay me back. He swore he'd change. What did you say? I said no. Dad leaned back in his chair. I told Kyle I wouldn't enable him anymore, that he needed to face the consequences of his choices. He got angry. He accused me of not loving him, of favoring you. He said terrible things. Dad, I had no idea. I know you didn't. Because Kyle made sure no one knew. He kept up the act. He kept pretending. And tonight, when he humiliated you in front of everyone, I'd had enough. So you exposed him? I exposed the truth. Kyle has been lying to everyone for 2 years. He's been drowning. And instead of asking for help, instead of being honest, he chose to tear you down to make himself feel better. Dad pulled out another folder. This is yours. I opened it. Contracts. Invoices. Bank statements. My bank statements. Dad, how did you? I've been following your career, Daniel. I know you signed a contract with Patterson and Associates. I know they're paying you $200,000 for a year-long design project. I know you've been building something real. Something sustainable. I didn't know what to say. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because I'm not like Kyle. I don't need everyone to know. I just wanted to do good work. And that's exactly why I'm proud of you. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You just do the work. You build. You grow. Quietly. Steadily. He stood up. Kyle called you a failure tonight. In front of everyone. He humiliated you. So I made sure everyone knew the truth. That you're not the failure. He is. Dad, that was brutal. Sometimes the truth is brutal. But it needed to be said. Kyle needed to hear it. And everyone else needed to stop treating you like you're invisible. I sat there, processing everything. What happens now? Now, Kyle has to face reality. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. Aunts. Uncles. Cousins. Everyone wanted to know if the texts were true. If Kyle was really in that much debt. If I really had a contract with Patterson and Associates. I confirmed it all. Yes, Kyle was in debt. Yes, I had the contract. Yes, Dad had sent the texts. The reactions were mixed. Some people were shocked. Some were disappointed. Some were angry at Dad for exposing Kyle publicly. But most were just sad. Sad that Kyle had lied. Sad that the golden child had fallen so far. Kyle didn't respond to anyone. He disappeared. Stopped answering calls. Stopped posting on social media. His girlfriend broke up with him. His friends distanced themselves. His perfect life unraveled in 48 hours. Mom called me 3 days later. She was crying. Daniel, Kyle is staying at a motel. He can't afford his apartment anymore. The landlord evicted him. His car got repossessed. He has nothing. Mom, I'm sorry, but can you help him? Please? He's your brother. Mom, he humiliated me. He called me a failure. He's been lying to everyone for years. I know. And what he did was wrong. But he's struggling. He needs family. He needed family when he decided to tear me down to build himself up. Where was family then? She went quiet. Your father went too far. He shouldn't have exposed Kyle like that. Dad told the truth. Kyle's the one who lied. It didn't have to be so public. So cruel. Mom, Kyle stood up at Dad's birthday dinner and mocked me in front of 20 people. He made sure everyone knew he thought I was worthless. Dad just made sure everyone knew the truth. So you're okay with what your father did? I didn't ask him to do it. But yes, I'm okay with it. Kyle needed to face consequences. She hung up. I felt guilty. But I also felt vindicated. 2 weeks later, Kyle showed up at my apartment. I saw him through the peephole. He looked terrible. Unshaven. Wearing old clothes. He'd lost weight. He knocked again. I opened the door. Kyle, can I come in? I hesitated. Then I stepped aside. He walked in slowly. He looked around my small apartment. The place he'd always mocked. The place he'd said proved I was going nowhere. Nice place, he said quietly. What do you want, Kyle? He sat down on my couch. He put his head in his hands. I'm sorry. For what? For everything. For what I said at dinner. For the way I've treated you. For years of making you feel small. Why did you do it? He looked up. Because I was jealous. Jealous? Of me? You were happy. You were doing what you loved. You didn't care what anyone thought. I cared what everyone thought. I built my entire life around other people's approval. And when I lost my job, I lost everything. My identity. My purpose. I didn't know who I was without the title. The salary. The status. So you faked it. I faked it. And I went into debt trying to maintain an image that didn't exist anymore. I was drowning. And instead of asking for help, I tore you down. Because if I could make you look like the failure, then maybe I wasn't one. He started crying. I lost everything, Daniel. My job. My apartment. My girlfriend. My reputation. Everyone knows I'm a fraud. I have nothing left. I sat down across from him. Kyle, I can't fix this for you. I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm asking you to forgive me. I don't know if I can. Please. You're my brother. You didn't treat me like a brother. I know. And I'm sorry. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. I looked at Kyle. He was broken. Destroyed. Part of me felt sorry for him. Part of me wanted to help. But another part of me remembered every insult. Every dismissive comment. Every time he'd made me feel worthless. Kyle, I appreciate the apology. I do. But words aren't enough. What do you want me to do? I want you to rebuild your life. Not for me. Not for Mom and Dad. For yourself. Get a real job. Pay off your debts. Stop pretending to be someone you're not. Figure out who you actually are. I don't know how to do that. Then figure it out. Go to therapy. Get financial counseling. Do the work. But don't expect me to hold your hand through it. So you're just giving up on me? I'm not giving up on you. I'm setting a boundary. You hurt me, Kyle. For years. And I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean I have to fix your problems. He stood up. So that's it? You're just going to watch me suffer. You're not suffering because of me. You're suffering because of your choices. Dad destroyed my life. He humiliated me in front of everyone. Dad told the truth. You destroyed your own life by lying. By faking. By treating people like they were beneath you. Kyle's face hardened. You're enjoying this. You're happy I'm suffering. I'm not happy you're suffering. But I'm also not going to pretend you didn't bring this on yourself. So you're just like Dad. Cruel. Unforgiving. No, Kyle. I'm just done being your punching bag. He walked to the door. He turned back. I came here hoping you'd help me. I thought you were better than this. I am better than this. That's why I'm not enabling you anymore. He left. The door slammed behind him. I sat there, shaking. I didn't hear from Kyle for 3 months. Mom told me he'd moved to Florida. He was working at a warehouse. Living in a small apartment. Paying off his debts slowly. He'd stopped posting on social media. Stopped pretending. He was living a real life for the first time in years. Mom said he was different. Quieter. Humbler. He'd started therapy. He was facing his mistakes. He was trying to rebuild. I was glad to hear it. But I didn't reach out. I wasn't ready. My contract with Patterson and Associates was going well. They'd extended it for another year. They were talking about bringing me on full-time. My income had tripled. I'd moved into a bigger apartment. I was thriving. Dad called me one night. "How are you doing, son?" "Good. Really good. I heard about the extension." "Congratulations." "Thanks, Dad. I also heard Kyle's doing better. He's working. He's in therapy. He's trying." Mom told me. "Are you going to reach out to him?" "I don't know. Maybe eventually. He's still your brother." "I know. But I need time." "That's fair. Just don't let anger turn into bitterness. You're better than that." He was right. I didn't want to carry resentment forever. But I also wasn't ready to forgive and forget. Not yet. A week later, I received a package. No return address. I opened it. Inside was a letter. Handwritten. From Kyle. "Daniel, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for anything. I just want you to know I'm working on myself. I got a job. I'm paying off my debts. I'm in therapy. I'm learning who I am without the lies. Without the image. It's hard. But it's real. Thank you for setting boundaries. For not enabling me. You were right. I needed to face this alone. I hope someday we can be brothers again. But I understand if that never happens. Kyle." I read the letter 3 times. I felt something shift inside me. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But something close. Hope, maybe. That Kyle was actually changing. That he was becoming someone real. I didn't respond immediately. I waited 2 weeks. Then I sent him a text. "I got your letter. I'm glad you're working on yourself. Keep going. We'll talk when the time is right." He responded an hour later. "Thank you. That means everything." 6 months later, Kyle came back to Raleigh for Thanksgiving. He looked different. Thinner. Older. But there was something else. Peace. He wasn't performing anymore. He wasn't pretending. He was just Kyle. Flawed. Imperfect. Real. We talked that night. Really talked. About everything. The lies. The pressure. The jealousy. The pain. It wasn't easy. But it was honest. "I'm sorry for everything," he said. "I know I can't undo it. But I'm trying to be better." "I can see that. Do you think we can be brothers again?" "Eventually. But it's going to take time." "I understand." We shook hands. It wasn't a hug. It wasn't forgiveness. But it was a start. My brother called me a failure. He humiliated me in front of everyone I loved. Then one text from my dad revealed the truth. That Kyle was the one drowning. That I was the one succeeding. And that lies always come to light. Kyle lost everything. His career. His reputation. His life. But in losing everything, he found something more important. The truth. And maybe, eventually, himself. I didn't destroy him. He destroyed himself. I just stopped pretending it wasn't happening. And sometimes, that's the kindest thing you can do. If this story resonated with you, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.